We're talking to President Melvin Johnson, the president at Tennessee State University. And of course, Dr. Johnson, as we promised before our first commercial break, that we give you an opportunity to talk about not only Tennessee State University, but your vision of Tennessee State University and where you see Tennessee State University in the academic area now, and perhaps your athletic program or some of the other things that might be of concern to you. Let's talk about those things.
Okay, great. One of the things that, upon coming to Tennessee State University, that really impressed me, and that is the quality of the faculty that I found at the institution. The same thing is that I found in the student body. I think the university is poised to even do some greater things as far as its academics are concerned. So I see an expansion of the quality and types of academic programs that we're going to offer in the future. But I also see an opportunity to really develop the research infrastructure to the level that I think we could become a research extensive university, which is the highest classification as far as the Carnegie classification of institutions of higher education in the country are concerned. And so I think we're poised to do that. And so I've got a very aggressive plan to make the investments in the research infrastructure so that we can achieve that, that level. The other things that, that I find that are very important is the fact that our athletics program has always been, I consider, the front porch to the university. It is where most people see us. And of course, we've had some glorious days in the past as far as our football team, the success during the John Merritt days, the success that we've had in the Olympic sports. As a matter of fact, with the 29 medals that we've won, we've had more success than most countries.
Very good.
And so I think that's an opportunity for us to build upon and create an avenue where people would be engaged to the university.
And excited about it.
And excited about it. And so I also see an opportunity to become an economic development engine for Middle Tennessee. And so from that regard, I certainly have an interest and a desire, and I think we have the faculty and the student body to really accomplish some great things as far as economic development is concerned.
You know, Dr. Johnson, I think you mentioned earlier off camera that you've been involved with computers, and I think that it's understood that Tennessee State University has made some strides in terms of computer education and et cetera. But you also have some ideas in terms of how we might be able to improve that. Let's talk about that.
Well, I certainly do, and technology has been something that's been the cornerstone of my background for a number of years. It's one of the things that I was able to develop during my time in the military as well. And so I see that as a competitive edge for Tennessee State University. So we're looking at this on a number of different avenues. Number one, raising the competence not only of our administrative staff, but the same thing as far as our faculty are concerned. We'd also like to infuse the university with high-speed computing, which would allow the researchers to raise their level of research to another level. So I see technology as being one of the key components of how we can create a competitive edge for our students and our faculty at Tennessee State.
And of course, in doing this, not only will that be able to sort of reinforce your whole economic idea of reaching out into the community. And
Absolutely.
I think that I've read in some of the newspaper accounts that you're interested in trying to form some kind of coalition between the community and Tennessee State University.
Well, the first thing that in that regard, and you're 100% correct, I certainly want to raise the visibility of what the university has accomplished within the region, but also nationally. And I think that is one of the ways that people can see what a great return on investment that Tennessee State University is. And from that regard, I think that we will see the kinds of resource injections that the university needs to create that margin of excellence.
You know, one of the things that we always talk about, Dr. Johnson, whenever we talk to these college presidents, is that financial resources and et cetera, because I think that that's one of the things that you have to deal with. And let's talk about some of the things in terms of financial resources that can come to Tennessee State University and some of the visions that you have in reference to that.
Well, absolutely. As I talk about this margin of excellence, I sort of need to explain that a little bit, because a lot of people are they have some misconceptions about the level of state appropriations that come to the university. And although the state has supported the university, I think we're quickly moving away from a state-supported to a state-assisted and maybe a state-affiliated and maybe state-only if we look at the dwindling of resources that we happen to see from that regard. So I think it puts a number of pressures upon the university to seek external funding. And so from that regard, we're going to have to do a lot more in terms of raising funds for the university externally, as well as the sponsored research activities that I mentioned earlier. So a combination of all of those, coupled with the state appropriations, will allow us to achieve the kinds of results and achieve our vision that I mentioned to you earlier.
You know, the community, I think, has been really interested in Tennessee State University, and I think you mentioned earlier that you've tried to deal with various segments of the community, and I think one of the most important segments is right here on your doorstep, and that is the Jefferson Street Merchant Association.
Absolutely.
What would you like to see them do in terms of bringing Tennessee State University and doing some other things? They're already involved, but what would you like to offer them this morning?
Well, I'm very excited from what I see from JUMP and from the Merchants Association because I think it's going to require a partnership with not only Tennessee State University, but with Meharry and also with Fisk University to get a strategic plan that we can all buy into, one of which that will involve the students, because that's what it's about. In my opinion, the kinds of businesses that locate along Jefferson Street would have to be those that offer amenities to our students and our faculty. And I think talking to them, getting their input into the strategic plan is a necessity. And I think once that's done, along with some economic incentives, we can have the kinds of businesses that will locate that we see at major campuses throughout the country.
And you know, I think the city of Nashville, Dr. Johnson, has been interested in exactly what you're talking about, because they've done quite a bit. Mayor Purcell has done quite a bit in terms of reaching out, and but of course they would be, I'm certain that they would appreciate working with you in reference to that.
Well, we look forward to doing that, and as a matter of fact, the three presidents that I mentioned, myself and Hazel O'Leary and also John Maupin, have met to talk about joint collaborative efforts to make sure that we're planning this in the right way, in a way that would actually complement what we're trying to do at all three universities.
Very good. And of course, Dr. Johnson, we're getting ready for our second commercial break, and after we come back, we'll give you an opportunity to expand perhaps upon some of the things that you've talked about, or to perhaps break some new ground in terms of the kind of information that you're giving us. But this is exactly what we felt that our audience would appreciate by giving us that insight in reference to you. And of course, we'll be back following this very, very short commercial break. We're talking to President Melvin